Happy hunting.
Hunt me.
I am the hunted one.
I'm hunting most things.
Let us hunt something.
You can hunt.
Long have you hunted me?
You're being hunted.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. 22nd of August 2018. Let's get into the hunts for today. First one is the Thor Trucks. ThorTrucks.com in direct, I would say, competition with Elon Musk and Tesla. This thing has just come out of like nowhere to me. I'm sure they've been working on it for years. This company, I think, has had a big investment from DHL or one of those kind of companies recently. Fully electric, fully capable at £80,000 with instant torque at 0 RPM. It's a powerful tool designed to get the job done. Stay on the road and save operators money. 300-mile range. I mean, isn't the 500-mile range that Tesla has said about their van, their truck, but we don't know if that battery technology actually exists yet. I'm wondering if Elon's still waiting on some kind of graphene technology to stack those batteries. I know he's gone on record saying that shouldn't be more than like a couple more inches higher on the battery pack, but that thing's not been tested. And we're talking about range, and batteries create heat, especially when you're pulling something with some serious torque. I'm not convinced that these things are not going to burst into flames at 3 a.m. in the morning as they're autonomously driven. Powertrain options range from 300 to 700 horsepower with full torque at 0 RPM. That means you're like literally pulling out that truck stop that you've not had to fuel up from. I mean, just think of like all of the. Right now, I would love to be a truck driver. I've got to tell you. Compliance, zero emission powertrain is exempt from air quality regulations, safety, battery, total cost of ownership, reduced maintenance fuel. I mean, these things are the future, right? These are one part of what's got to happen with environmental change, with lowering costs. Yes, it's going to change jobs, but I'm presuming they still have to have a driver on board. Like, they're not fully autonomous yet. I'm sure that will come in the future, but maybe you'll also even have to sit in it as well. I'd just buy one just to drive around the US in. Like, I wouldn't even pull anything. I would just literally have one to do that. I tell you what, if you've got Bitcoin money from the early days, like buying that and just setting yourself up driving from place to place, doing a video blog, pulling like different kinds of loads, what a life. Next up is Planet Alpha. Available September the 4th on PC and console. This looks really, really beautiful game. Pre-order now to get 10% discount on the game, the original soundtrack, and the digital art book. I mean, it looks stunning. Adventure that takes place in the living alien world where you have the ability to control the day and night. That's interesting. Combines fast platforming, puzzles, and stealth elements with a unique art style to create an unforgettable experience. This looks like the sort of game that would be beautiful to stream. I think at super high quality, 60 frames a second. It looks an absolutely gorgeous game. Next up, Africa's Premier Exchange. I've got to be honest with you, I'm kind of on the fence with this, and this is going to sound like really kind of how can I put it? It's going to sound like derogatory, right? And I'm not trying to be derogatory at all, but like I grew up knowing about the 411 scams, which are like the Nigerian and similar countries in that area of being heavily into scamming. You know, there was a whole bunch of like email scams and packaging scams and selling you stuff that didn't exist, and it actually became something that I was really interested in following. I used to follow these like scam forums where people used to go back and forth and say how they managed to scam the scammer. And I think I listened to a bunch of podcasts, and yet now here we are, a lot of up and coming African countries. Nigeria definitely has a startup scene. Nigeria definitely has a bunch of Steemians that are mobilizing themselves doing startups. But I don't know what it is, but I just can't shake that Nigerian tag for me, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if other people have that about other countries. Like, you grow up hearing stories and being part of stories, and I guess I just, in my mind, I've not like been able to shake it. But I have to give people from any place in the world like the benefit of the doubt, right? So this is Steam Exchange. They really need to work on that like logo. It doesn't look like an S. Get rid of that. I know what you're trying to do there, but get rid of it. Steam Exchanger create a wallet, send Steam dollars, convert to local currency. Convert your Steam dollars to Naira and other currencies instantly. Will credit to your bank account. Immediately withdraw. Look, at the end of the day, the fact that they've even pulled this together to do some kind of like conversion of Steam to their local currency, that's amazing, right? I think everybody in every country should go down this road of trying to build an exchange for their country. I think that's just gives everybody more options instead of like using block trades or local bitcoins. Having more of these things kind of validates this whole industry, if you want to call it an industry, niche, and also it brings your average person a bit closer to using Steam and SBD instead of it just being this magic kind of piracy money or like illegal money or criminal activity, because it's way bigger than that. Blockchain, especially Steam, the communities on there, how efficient the blockchain works, how battle tested it is, there's so much more than a bigger story than that's currently going out there. So props for them for making it. I'm just a little bit like, I would have to test it, I guess. I would have to test it. That's the only way I'm ever going to know, right? Next up is the Peugeot EF 01. Damn, this is one sexy looking e-bike. I really love the design of this thing. I don't know how lightweight that is, but I really love what they've done with the integration of the battery. The frame is a little bit weird to me at the front there, but it does look solidly built and it looks light. I'm probably wrong in thinking that, but it looks lighter than your average kind of e-bike, which is good because most of the times e-bikes, after they run out of power, are completely useless to pedal, which is a big thing they need to fix. So maybe they've fixed it with this one. First electrically assisted folding bicycle, long-standing playing the folding bicycle market. Really, I didn't know that. Expanding its last kilometer range of mobility products, launched with the e-kick electrically assisted scooter. I mean, I think that's a fire-looking bike. The wheels look a little bit tiny to me, but I love that single fork thing on the front. And knowing Peugeot, it's well made. It looks like they've got a chain. The chain's enclosed. I'm wondering if that is a belt drive or if it's an actual chain. And I'm surprised there's no like hub there. Maybe they didn't want to combine the Bosch unit. Peugeot and Bosch don't talk together or don't hang out yet. Sure, that's coming. Next up, the vegan bottle. Nature comes back. Vegan bottle plant in process is a non-toxic at the end of its life. Vegan bottles are non-toxic at the end of its life because it contains no oil and it fights the pollution of plastic bottles. Some numbers: 45% of petroleum-based plastic bottles are not recycled in France, i.e. around 200,000 tons per year. These bottles are only recycled on average 2 or 3 times, not indefinitely. It's therefore necessary to consider an extremely low valuation at end of life finally in nature. Like, look, anything that fixes this problem, I'm down for. Anything vegan that we can put out into the world, like get people away from meat that tastes like meat, I'm down with that. Anything that gets rid of plastic bottles and has decomposing bottles, maybe we can kind of have nutrients or proteins in that actually spread out and put better stuff into the environment. That would be nice. Next up, cryptotaxmap.org. So you can find out in different countries what the tax requirements are, I believe, in each country. And what's nice about this is that it gives you a breakdown of which ones are favorable, which ones are neutral, which ones are unfavorable, and ones that haven't been defined yet. And I think it's going to be interesting to watch this map, especially over the next 6 months as we start to see more regulation. I don't think ETFs are necessarily the way for Bitcoin, but I really want Bitcoin to succeed in some way. I think it will. Even though it's like grandfather technology in some ways compared to some other blockchains, I think because it has the first mover advantage, I think we have to keep Uncle on life support. Otherwise, the alts and the whole damn thing doesn't work. Next up, Ohpoo Labs. Ohpoo Labs Pocket Skin Clinic. Ohpoo.ai is a revolutionary new platform which vastly improves how people address their skincare needs. I think these are massive industries. I think especially in China and the Far East, I think it's massively part of the reputation management graph in terms of social media influencers constantly having skincare and face things done to maintain that youth. And it looks like now they've got this AI driven version of it. Machine learning analyzes, compares and recommends treatments, a search that provides information from consumer skincare service providers, a coin, Ethereum, crypto coins for use in our marketplace. Like, these are trying to corner the skincare market, and if they've got an AI behind them, chances are they're going to do it. Another AI, we're going back-to-back AIs today. Watercooler.ai, the gold standard in intelligent team building. In the age of AI and distributed teams, we rely on happy hours. Our targeted algorithm and innovative video tools work together to promote collaboration and proactively minimize conflict within your team. Damn, we need this on Steam Hunt. Improve team chemistry in just 30 seconds per week. Okay, turbocharge team dynamics using Watercooler AI today. How does that work? That sounds interesting to me. Anything that we can AI build on a video scale, because video for me is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I think you can tell a massive big story in a short amount of time and get a point across. There's more retention in video, there's more retention in like cinemagraphs, moving images in general, and I think we've only just started to scratch the surface of social in those two things. Wow, it's getting hot in here. I'm gonna have to do these two things. Last two then today. Insignia Technologies, be informed. Look out for the award-winning Insignia after opening freshness labels in your local Sainsbury's. Now, the only reason why I put this up today is not necessarily because of this particular label, but I'm starting to see the early signs of labels which will then probably move on to like blockchains and then trackability. You've already got things like this in China where people are trying to work out where their meat has come from, you know, which manufacturer it came from, because they had so many scares with fish and meat in terms of it being off or bad, that now they track a lot of that stuff from end to end. So I can see that happening in the UK and Europe as well. I don't know who Insignia Technologies are, but I can imagine that they'll slowly move into like RFID, and then it'll be blockchain, and then boom, they've got their foot in the door. Last one today then, Makerspaces by Bitspace. So what Bitspace do is they have a whole blueprint for how to run a makerspace. If you've never been to a makerspace, they're amazing. They're dotted all around the world. There's probably one local to you. You can go there, pay a fee. It's like a co-working cross with having tools there to make things, and they're brilliant. I took my daughter to one probably 2 years ago now. We made like a little mobile phone stand together. We went from the design process. She drew it all out. She saw it actually getting burnt, laser cut, etched, and then actually built it. So we went through that like triple phase, and you could see the moment that once those pieces came out of the laser cutter and she put them together, something's, you know, clicked in her head. She was like, oh, all right, so I can create something here, print something out, and then I have this outcome. And that like sparked so much creativity in her. I think she was only like, what would she be? She'd probably be just turning 10. If you've got children, you've got kids, especially teenagers, like their creativity just explodes when you take them to a makerspace. When they know they can design and make their own unique custom thing, then there's kind of this big explosion of like wanting to learn even more, especially if you have a kid who's like just data. So check this out. Bitspace, transforming space into a makerspace. They've got all the documentation of like how to organize a space, so it's super optimized. But also they have information for the K-12, which is this maker curriculum, so you can step through a proper curriculum in the same way that they get educated at school. That's it for today, he says. If you've never been to the Steam Hunt website before and you're coming across this from some decentralized web host somewhere, DLive, DTube, if you haven't tried those, you should try those too. This is what the website looks like as of August 2018. All the hunts are on the right hand side. There's hundreds of them per day. When you click through, they appear on the left hand side. The white button takes you through to it. If you've got a Steam account, you can log in already. Just click on the plus button, put the title, subtitle, put some images in there, some tags and some body text up to 1,000 characters. Click on post. It goes onto the Steam blockchain, but it also goes onto the Steam Hunt website, where you have the potential of getting an upvote. That's it for me today. I will catch up with you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Oh, don't forget, I've got a course out, an unofficial course for Steam Hunt. It's probably going to end up about 3 or 4 hours. I've got 100 free passes for you to go on there. If you want to have a look on my blog, steemit.com/@teamhumble. You'll find the link in there. That'll take you through. I'm adding certain bits to it every day. I'm just constantly going to be adding to it as people ask questions, frequently ask questions in the Discord channel. I think it's going to be really useful, and I think people will get a lot of benefit out of it. That's it. I'll see you soon.
Prepare the path of a steam.
Smell of steam.
Stumnassie, wat is een stumnassie? Stilmachine. Why shouldn't a guy let off a little steam?
The steam.